I take this ring as a symbol of my commitment to you.
My name is Maingi, and I am a gospel musician, and I'm also a content creator and a wife to Joseph Maingi, and we've been married for 4 months now.
For these people, I want to put this ring as a symbol of my commitment to you.
You know, if I post my picture, I would say beautiful. And now I was wondering, now this brother in Christ, why is he texting? Sister.
I love so much about her, but one of the fastest thing that comes to my mind anytime I think about her is her character, her quest to seeking At Trigger. In fact, I took her for a photo shoot and she was like, I was looking for the engagement on our photo shoot. And unfortunately it didn't happen, but 4 months later, on her birthday, that is 3rd of April, I had to pull a big one because for her, she was like, okay, we're going for a surprise. What type of a surprise is this? And I told her, please cancel everything. It's nothing big, something simple. But I had really pulled my friends on board and part of our friends. And on her birthday, I asked her the big question and she said yes to us. My question is, will you?
He is irresistible. We were doing so well. I was so excited about the relationship. All through the time that we dated, while I was in school, I could see how consistent he is to check out on me. Because at some point when I was going back to school, I was fearing that it won't work because of the long distance, but he was so consistent and I could tell that he's real and it is genuine and it is coming from his heart. And I was also feeling the same, so I decided to give love a chance. I did not want to waste the opportunity.
Well, in our dating life, we learned one craft very early. We were doing prayer dates. So every month we would do a prayer date. And those ones really kept us on check on knowing what is right and also the thought of asking ourselves, how best can we be able to face whatever we are facing? But we really didn't have major challenges per se. Our journey was quite a joyful one. Every step was a check, another check, and we really celebrate this one.
I was very open to my mom about the relationship from the first time we started talking. My mother knew all along, and so she was constantly advising me, and she had heard so much about him that she was approving every step. And he came to our home in December, like 6 months after we had met. That's when he came and met my family, and they received him well.
Well, after a journey of being total strangers and of course that anticipation of knowing, yes, I'm committing to, who am I committing to? I really wanted to meet her parents and also to really give them the very word that I'm a serious person. And the journey you're starting is a journey of no reverse. It's a journey to seeing the best and the fullness of time. And therefore in December 26th, I had to take her home to her parents, and I met the dad. He was very warm, and I was really excited and humbled to meet my father-in-law. My mom was one person that I think we had actually talked in the phones, through the phones, before we met. And when we met, I mean, he complimented the phone calls. And we got the blessings. We never had the struggles to this journey.
Well, I was expecting, because he's such a romantic person, he will keep up with it, that we are going to have very exciting moments because our dating life was so fun. Like, I remember we didn't even want to I found a man stronger than anyone I know. He shares my dreams. I hope that someday we'll share a home. I found a man stronger than anyone I know. He shares my dreams. I hope that someday we'll share a home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We're still kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time. Darling, just hold my hand, be my man, I'll be your girl. I see my future in your eyes. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the ground, listening to our favorite song. I have faith in what I see. Now I know I have met an angel in person, and he looks perfect. I don't deserve this, darling, you look perfect today.
Thank you. Love you.
So nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really nice.
Planning for the wedding was exciting, but at some point it got challenging. Of course, it can get hectic because of all the pressure that comes in. But I was excited because I knew I was getting married to the man of my dreams. Though there were challenges along the way, though sometimes it was so stressful, I still knew that it is worth it. And so, yeah, we kept going no matter what.
Well, for our wedding planning, part of the challenges that we're experiencing is the mental drain that comes with any wedding planning, the anticipation, the anxiety. And therefore, one of the biggest problem we had was, will it turn right? Is this the best thing? And also as a couple, trying to come to an equilibrium position where you agree on her preference and my preference, because sometimes preferences tend to differ a little. She wants to go on the extreme, I want to go on the low. She wants to go on the extreme, I want to go on the low. And therefore that was something. But the best was putting the interest of the other person first, and also trying to see how best can we come up with a beautiful thing, yet a thing that we all agree. So therefore one of our biggest challenge was that issue of preference. The other challenge we were having is, of course, trying to solicit for the finances, because every wedding is expensive. No wedding is cheap. Yeah. Every wedding is expensive, and therefore raising the resources and bearing in mind that the distance between our dowry payment and our wedding was less than 3 months. So from when we did our ratio, 3 months later, boom, we were already married. Yes.
For me, the wedding day was beautiful. Like, I was so happy. First of all, the weather favored us. That season was raining. In fact, that week had been raining throughout. But somehow on our very wedding day, it was shining. It was beautiful, just like we had prayed. It didn't rain, and so I was so happy about that. Everything went well. I was not even bothering myself with service providers, because I had decided to be happy on that day. If anything goes wrong, let it go wrong, but me, I just want to get married and see my husband, and that was the most important thing for me. But nothing went wrong. All the service providers delivered what they were supposed to deliver at the right time and with excellence. So it was just beautiful, and there was a good flow. It was so exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
For me, it started with so much anxiety to start with, because I was like, wow, how will it turn? Finally, how would this experience be? But one of my highlights was actually to see my parents in church with me, walking with me. that was really something that I was always looking forward to. Of course, seeing her was also a big highlight, and of course, the vows. The vows were and will still remain to be one of the biggest highlights, because every other given time I think about them, they remind me of my commitment to her and her true affirmation to what she believes in the love and the marriage that we have.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really felt that this was a prayer answered, because from our engagement, we were now able to roll the ball. We were now able to tell, where are we heading from here? So for me, our engagement was. I can't wait to see her creating more space for any other person other than me and her. In our lowest moments,
It takes me to panic mode, and I'm like, wow, the marriage is ending. Oh my God, what is happening? We are supposed to be loving each other.
ensure that it's us against that issue, it's not us between that issue. The one thing I would always, and every other given time I wake up to tell her is that I love you. And I mean every bit of that word. Every other given day seeing you brings so much joy. And I love you.
Thank you.
And I will wake up to tell you tomorrow and any other day I do. And I wish I will always prove that love that I always tell you.
I love you too.
Thank you, honey.
Nikupende, nikulinde, usichelewe, tuolewe, till death do us part. I promise to play my part. Na nikupende, hadi minife, hadi minife.
And that's our love story.
My name's Bryson Ocheng Okut, founder and CEO Cityfacial Clothing. Clothing line established back in 2015. We've been in the game for some time. Yeah, and we offer a wide range of services as far as garments construction is concerned. Sense of fashion is basically, I like to keep it simple, get into the details, a little bit of the details, not so extravagant, not so exaggerated, but keeping it into the professional aspects of what a man would wear on a day-to-day basis. The inspo is basically much of just passion. You could be passionate about something from the start. Because initially, I was one person who would like to dress up. Then I used to have tailors working on a wide range of products for me. Then initially, when I had the challenges with tailors from time to time, then I decided why not just venture and offer solutions to some of the challenges the clients were facing in the market. We don't just specialize in weddings, we specialize in a wide range of products or services, ranging from both genders. We cut across the gender, we're doing women's stuff, we're doing kids stuff. But now, just to get back to your question, concerning weddings, for instance, we do weddings ranging from groomsmen, we do bridesmaids, we do parents, we do kids. And weddings, general term weddings, is basically just classified as white or English weddings. We equally do rorachos, coitos, we do under the assumption of traditional weddings, yeah? So it's a subsection of what we do at Cityfacial in the garment construction. We have a wide range of options to give to our clients in one way or the other. There's a general term, payment your best in everything that we do. So the earlier you're able to book with us, the earlier you're able to book an appointment and do your consultations at a good time, it avoids a wide range of issues. For instance, for the weddings, we need to select the materials, we need to agree on the design. There are a couple of things we need to look at: the material, the type of design you're working on, the number of brides. We need to do an assessment of the body types and body structures of your bridesmaids. That way we're able to assist you in one way or the other in selecting the various designs and probably help or give expert opinion on what works depending on the theme that you've selected for your wedding. So as far as time is concerned, there's need to have adequate time. We advise our clients to give us at least a month. That way we're able to figure out all the dynamics of producing or doing a perfect, or we could call a perfect wedding. One of the things that affects the output is time. Just like you initially you'd post the question, time affects everything. Because you can imagine, I normally tend to think that weddings are not emergencies. For instance, from the moment you decide you're going to have a wedding, you're supposed to have all these vendors, you're supposed to have your tailor on board, you're supposed to have your photographers on board. That way we avoid the last minute rush. So one of the things that clients normally do or tend to go out of line is the time factor. Because when you give us a job within 2 weeks or even a week to your wedding, probably very many things could go out of way. There's need to have time to even correct the mistakes that have already occurred. The other thing that I see people make mistakes from time to time is probably not giving your groomsmen or your bridesmaids the freedom to select whatever works for them. At times I see bridesmaids come with fixed mindsets, or they come with an alternative or an option that does not work for everyone. So you'll find a lot of push and pull in regards to it's more internal push and pull on their end without just being frank with your maids and telling them what would work or giving them the freedom. Another thing that we have a problem with is normally, let me say, the shades or colors. This is whereby the bride decides on the colors on their own without involving or even making consultations. Are these colors available? Are these palettes within our working range? Are this kind of materials workable? That still drives me to the point of designs, settling for designs for all your maids or all your groomsmen. It affects the whole production channel because we have cases whereby a whole wedding is done or we've produced everything, then someone just rises up and says they were not consulted. Or maybe they have a word with us and say, we are just wearing the clothes for the sake of wearing them, but we were not consulted. So it's important that it's a whole collective agenda, a whole collective, it's supposed to have everyone on board. Yes, yes. One thing about weddings, it's very rare to find someone recognize the certificate, that there was a certificate issued during the wedding. But everyone is going to recognize the outfits. The outfits are looking stunning. It's either the outfits are looking sluggish or the outfits are looking stunning. The other thing that people look at is food. We were well fed, we were not well fed. But again, the most important thing in a wedding, as much as everything else is important, has to go to the outfits themselves. It's the outfits that describe or determine how correct or how perfect the wedding was. Yes. So I would still go.
Of coming home is to relax and to have a nice day with my